There was a post on Chief Talk this morning asking about how to cut a hole in the drywall that's attached to a ceiling plane. So it'd be like this. There's no flat ceiling in the room. You just got a ceiling plane with drywall. So what I've done here is I've put a ceiling plane in. This is a roof plane, and this is a ceiling plane. You need a ceiling plane to cut holes in a ceiling plane. If you try to cut a hole in the roof plane, it's gonna cut the roof too. It's not going to be selective. So you have to put a ceiling plane in here to do this. Now the problem is with Chief. Let's go back to plan here. I've got a bunch of holes here. And you'll notice that in plan view, these holes are round and this one is square. This is a symbol. That's nothing to look at. But these are round, and you notice this one right here is elliptical. And that's because I've shaped this one to a specific shape. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, how to do that. But the idea is that Chief doesn't it doesn't create the correct hole shape because it doesn't account for the angle of the ceiling plane, which I believe it should. Anybody that's done any mechanical drafting, I mean, I remember 50 plus years ago in junior high taking mechanical drafting and learning how to do projections and things and show how stuff like this ought to look. But right now you can see what happens. These in reality, no matter what plan view looks like, in 3D these holes are elongated, and this is a rectangle instead of a square. This one is correct. And I was just fooling around. I made a upside down bowl shape, and I stuck that beach ball in there just to show that it actually goes up in there, because it's hard to see otherwise. Now, one of the problems I've noticed is that it takes literally to select this ceiling plane with all this stuff stuck in it. It takes literally minutes, 3+ minutes, closer to 4, just to select this. I mean, the program just has a hard time figuring all this stuff out. So anyway, what I'm going to go over, like I said, quickly in this video is how to make this hole round. What the question was about was how to cut a hole in the ceiling plane, because the user wanted to put a light fixture that was recessed up into the cavity here, like this bowl shape is. You know, he wanted a light fixture that went on a sloped ceiling that you could angle. You know, it had a little gimbal in it where you could angle the actual light fixture. And you know, my response is, well, you need to cut a hole in the ceiling, but it's more complicated, like a lot of things. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to delete all of this stuff, and then hopefully that ceiling plane will select quickly. So let's say we want to do, I'm going to make a round hole in here. And so I'm going to start with a circle. And I'm not going to worry about specific size, because it doesn't matter. One thing that's probably an issue is aligning all this stuff up, centering everything, getting everything aligned like you want it. And I'm not going to talk about that, but anyway, I've just drawn a circle. I'm gonna convert to a face. and then I'm going to tilt it. So I'm going to, that ceiling plane and that roof plane are 8 and 12. So I'm just going to type in 8 and 12. You can do this almost any place that an angle measurement, the degrees, is called for. I'm going to hit tab, and you'll see the program automatically changes that into a degree measurement. And then I'm going to just hit rotate and say OK. And you can see how it's changed shape right there. And if we look at it in get rid of my beach ball. If we look at it in 3D, it's way down here. You'll see it's turned the wrong way. So I'm just going to come over here and select it and turn it like that. And then I'm just going to drag it over here. Now it's still down low. It's probably below 0. If I open it up, you can see that it's finished floor to bottom is minus 15 1/4, but that doesn't really matter. I'm going to move it up to 75. Looks like that was just a little bit high. There it is. I was just guessing at those numbers. I didn't know what they were for sure. So there's our shape. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to select ellipse. And we'll just draw in an ellipse right here. Snap it over here, snap it over here, snap it up here, down here, and then let's zoom in. That looks like that's pretty close there, and it looks like it's close over here. You can see lines here. You can see these two lines, and that's the facets that Chief has created on one of these shapes. And so this is really all we need. That's my 3D solid. I'm going to cut it. And so there's my shape. So I'm going to select the ceiling plane, and I'm just going to subtract this. You can do this to roof planes as well. So let's go back over here. There's my circle. I'm going to see if I can Control-Alt-V to put my face back in there. So it's a little tedious. And you can see what happens. It converts it into something with a whole bunch of segments, which is good. That'll keep it from being faceted. What I did there is I just copied and pasted over here. So let's go over here and see if that did anything. It did. And I think you can do this. I think you can Yep. So if you were doing holes for something, you could actually do, you could set up multiple copy to go both directions. I can never remember how to do this. Yeah, there we go. This thing is my inverted bowl. This one over here has been tilted. This one is just plain. So what I did was I created a sphere. And I'll create just a solid. Let's look at that like this. And again, I'm just winging this. I'm not bothering with any kind of dimensions. And then I'll select that, and I'll subtract that. So that gives me that. And then while that's selected, I'm going to copy and paste in place. And then I'm going to move that down 1/8 of an inch. So now I have two of those. So I'm going to select this one. And I'm going to subtract this one. And so there's my upside down bowl. That has nothing to do with the ceiling plane, but you can see this. I don't know why Chief does this, and this is really random. You can see it looks like there's a crack down across here that will appear and disappear. Anyway,